8:30 or so last night, and then I wake up at the time I normally wake up around 3:45 or 4 or so, and I see a text from Amy saying, "Are you taking shelter?" I was like, what is she talking about? We had a tornado last night. I slept through it because it wasn't in my part of town. And then Amy texts me again at like 4 and is like, "Hey, are you good?" And I was like, what did I miss? And so I get on, and last night, I guess, after midnight or so, I mean, I know what happened now, but I guess it was around at midnight or so.
Yeah, the sirens started going off. Like the city blasted these sirens to tornado warning sirens. And both my husband's phone and mine had like an alert, like seek shelter or whatever it said. And I was so glad my husband was with us because my personality is like, it's fine. Nothing's going to be wrong. Let's try to go back to sleep. But he was like, get the kids right now. Get in the bathroom by the kitchen because there's no windows. It's a tiny little bathroom. So, yeah, we got it. And we were in the bathroom probably 40 minutes. And, yeah, our son was freaking out. I could hear the winds picking up, and it seemed really close. And now waking up and seeing the pictures of just how close it was, it doesn't make sense to be scared after the fact, but I definitely am a little more, it's weird now because I wasn't as scared then, but my husband was tracking it on his phone, and I saw his demeanor change, and he kind of snapped at our son, and I even got mad at him. I'm like, don't yell at him. Like, he's scared. And that he later told me it was at that moment he realized it was hitting our neighborhood. And so I'm just thankful that we were okay. It's tragic for our neighborhood, though. I know a lot of people aren't, and it's heartbreaking. And
did it hit your actual neighborhood and where your houses are?
Yes. Like, well, the restaurants. One of our friends that lives a few blocks away, like their house got messed up. Burger Up, which we're at once every week. It's messed up. There's a tree on our street that's completely uprooted. Like, it's not like the tree just knocked over from a storm. It is a massive tree, and the roots are taken out of the ground, and it's over, which is in the sidewalk, too. That's absurd to me. Like, that, I mean, it's obviously now I'm seeing how strong and powerful something like that could be, but it's just scary to think that was going down right in our house, well, right near us.
I saw the news posting a graphic last night going, hey, there's some storm stuff way to the left of Nashville, and they were going on over The Bachelor. And really, TV people watching TV, there's like one or two that get upset, and the news has to go, we're not going to stop showing the news. And it's just like, just show us the news. Don't worry about replying to the one or two people that are upset that you're not showing The Bachelor. And so I'm watching this drama on Twitter, which is a little too much, going, okay, well, and they go, hey, we're going to show The Bachelor at midnight tonight instead. Well, at midnight, the tornado was hitting actual Nashville. And so they were back on again. Do we have a clip of the news station? This is Channel 5 News. They're out reporting. And it actually hit the TV station, like right where the TV station was.
This is the tornado. It is hitting Channel 5 as we speak.
Okay.
Right now. Tornado on the ground. It is hitting Channel 5. It is hitting our TV station at this time, moving through our parking lot as it is now sliding through the area. A very large tornado is moving through.
So that was on the news last night. Again, I was oblivious. I just woke up to texts.
So I guess the sirens, I didn't know if the whole city could hear them.
I didn't hear any sirens, but I don't hear anything.
You're right.
And I sleep with the TV on.
I don't know. Maybe if it's because I'm right downtown. And I mean, I hear concerts that are going on close by, but there was no way you couldn't hear them.
Some texts. How's everyone on the show last night? I'm not at work this morning and listening to the show. A lot of people from around the country are saying they saw that Nashville had a tornado or two and asking how we are. We're all fine.
Yeah.
Amy was the closest to it. Her neighborhood got hit, but I think for the most part, we're all good. Raymundo and I were talking about it early this morning. Raymundo, you heard it in your place?
Yeah, it was the winds and then some rain, but it took a turn and ended up then going towards the city. But it was right along the interstate where we are, but then it just veered. I was like half a mile, and it's just wide open there. It could have done major damage.
Yeah, some of the businesses in our neighborhood, like I'm just so thankful it was 1 a.m. because they weren't open. Because the pictures are scary.
The good and the bad is the businesses aren't open, so there aren't people there. Mm-hmm. But then people are asleep, and they don't even know the tornado is coming.
Yes, yeah. No, I mean, it's tragic.
I think now there are a couple people that died from this tornado. And again, if we find out how we can share with you guys how to help, we will. It just happened last night, so it's a little quick as far as efforts. So, but a lot of texts are coming in. Let's see. Everyone on the show's fine. Is everybody okay? Yes. Good morning. This is Chris from Fort Smith, Arkansas. I have a daughter who's a freshman at MTSU. Could you give an update? I don't think that it hit out there.
Don't think so.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do on this show is we'll update you a couple times an hour. You know, we're juggling doing a show where we live in Nashville, where all the country music is, that was hit by a tornado, and also a radio show for the rest of the country that's hanging out, listening, wanting to have fun, and do our normal show. So it's a balance of that. We have a fill-in for Lunchbox coming in a second. Robert Deaton, the TV producer, who lives in Nashville. I don't know where he lives exactly, but he's here, so I guess he didn't get hit by the tornado last night.
Yeah.
But he did. He produced the CMT Awards and Billboard Music Awards and did hundreds of music videos. So we'll talk to him too, just back and forth, updating you, letting you know if there's a way you can help. We'll tell you how to help. So that's the deal. We'll come back in 1 second. Nice.
Missed any of today's show or just want to listen again? Check out the Bobby Bones Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, we want to bring in our guest host for today who has done it all. Just done hundreds of country music videos, produces the CMA Awards, is producing the 2020 Billboard Music Awards. He is a board member of St. Jude. He is just all over the place. Robert Deaton, everybody. Go sit over there. Yeah, you're like part of us today. You're not in a guest chair.
I know, it's incredible.
Look at you. How's it going?
I'm hoping this is an audition so I can do this all the time. No, you guys have so much fun. So
What happened near you last night with the tornado? Was it near you or no?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing. I woke up.
Did you know what happened last night?
No.
I didn't either.
So my wife called me, she knew I was on my way here, and she called me, and at that time I knew, but, it was like I woke up, I didn't hear a thing. I mean, I got up a couple of times last night, and there was a couple of flashes, but I didn't think of anything of it.
And I didn't hear sirens. And Amy said at her house, there were sirens all over the place. And maybe that was just because where the tornado was hit. But
Maybe. I don't
live
know.
west.
I don't know how the sirens work, but I was like, this is genius because it really did force us to pay attention and go into the bathroom.
Was it crazy driving in today?
It was not.
Me either. I just wouldn't have known had Amy not messaged me going, are you okay? And I'm like, did Caitlin dump me? Like, that was my thought. Was like, did something happen with my girlfriend that I don't know about?
Yeah. I've literally never been in maybe as a kid, there was a tornado warning or something, but I don't know. Maybe it was just a drill. I don't know. So I've never been in one. So I don't really understand exactly how tornadoes work. So I just assume if I was seeking shelter, that you were seeking shelter, and we live 20 minutes apart.
Where'd you grow up, Robert?
I grew up in North Carolina.
Did you guys have tornadoes there?
No, not that I remember. We were on the coast, so no, I don't think so.
Did you have hurricanes?
Yeah.
In Arkansas, we had
Definitely.
tornadoes.
Definitely hurricanes.
So to me, we had a lot of tornado drills, and tornadoes would come, and it was just a thing. Like, tornadoes would come 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah.
And so you never, not a thing when it would hit, but you were under tornado warnings all the time. And so anyway, I was wondering if you're going to get here this morning.
Well, first of all, you think about, praying for people and families, and then you see all the destruction of the businesses and things, and you had destruction over where
Oh,
you
no.
live.
Well, in my neighborhood, those businesses, I live there, but my house is fine, thankfully.
Yeah.
But I know others in my neighborhood are not.
Yeah. Well, the first thing I thought was, I better get on the road,
Yeah.
So I thought it would take me, I gave myself an hour to get here. It took me 26 minutes.
Well, and Eddie was talking too, because Eddie grew up in Texas, and there aren't really tornadoes where you're from. And he's like, how does a tornado just hit part of something and then move on? But they do. They'll just hop down and hop back up. Or the bad ones hop down and stay down and then go back up. And there were times growing up where it would hit a house, and the house next to it would be just fine.
That's what I was referring to, because you look at the pictures of the destruction. It's like there's a neighborhood, one house destroyed, everything else untouched. It just doesn't make sense, but yeah.
We'll let you know when we find out how to help people. Robert's a big helper. You've been on the St. Jude board. You're on the St. Jude board now?
I am.
So what does that mean if you're on the board of because we work with St. Jude a lot and super close, but we don't sit in business meetings.
Well, I just got on the board, so I've only been to a couple of meetings.
Okay.
But when I do something, I get on a board like that, I always figure out, okay, what can I contribute? What's my area of expertise that I can contribute? So obviously, since I'm entertainment, that's what I'm trying to come up with ideas, different ways of trying to raise money. Because this, when you visit there and you start really doing a deep dive of what that place really is, and you think about things that you don't think about. Like, for example, they have a whole entire dentistry there for the kids.
I don't think I've ever seen the dentist, and I've been there many times.
Yeah, they do junior, senior prom.
Yeah.
They do Halloween. They do, there's all these, it's like some of these kids, for example, in the dentistry, they can't leave. And so it takes a lot of money. And then, for example, your flu shot that you get. I don't know if you get a flu shot.
I get one every week.
I do. But they come up with that season's flu shot there.
Oh, is that right?
At St. Jude.
So they're the ones that are having to try to figure out and guess based on the what's happening, the trends with that virus.
Oh,
Exactly.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So they do so many different things, and it's so important. And you go visit, you spend time with those kids, and they certainly don't deserve what they're going through. And when you get down there, and then I got a call about 2 months later after my first visit, and they asked me to be on the board, and it was completely an honor to be able to serve on that board. So what I'm trying to do is come up with different ideas from an entertainment standpoint to get artists involved for whatever that is to raise more money.
Robert also produces, and we'll talk about CMA Awards for a second. I'd kind of like to have you share a story or two, because you book everybody. Like, that's your show.
I do.
From the presenters to the music to what it looks like. Like, you're running the CMA Awards. And when Justin Timberlake and Chris Stapleton performed together, that's, how many years ago was that?
4 years ago, probably.
So you're running that show. That's your show.
Yeah.
How in the world do you make that pairing happen on your show?
Well, I had heard from Chris Stapleton that that they were friends. So, and Chris was like, you know how Chris is. He was like, do you think maybe you would want, Justin Timberlake? I'm like, yeah. Are you kidding me? Yes. Can we make that happen? So, Justin just doesn't come in and it's, you got it. It's like dealing with artists for me is like, it's like trying to feed a squirrel, out of your hand, and because you don't want to make big movements, and scare them away. So that's kind of how I look at it. So we did a phone call with Justin, and he's like, so what do you think we should do? And I said, whatever you want. And he was like, well, what time? How much time do I have? And I was like, as much as you want. How are those answers? He's like, he started laughing. He's like, that's pretty good, So, but no, we really got into it, started talking about the different songs. And, it's funny. It was like when we did that whole thing in rehearsal, it was good.
But you say that like it wasn't great. Like you say it was good.
It was good. I mean, it was really good. And it was funny because Justin, we did the whole thing. We did the rehearsal, and Justin comes over to me as they're getting ready to leave, and he leans over and he whispers, he's like, don't worry about it. It'll be great tonight. I'll bring it. We will bring it. And I'm like, great. That's awesome, man. I'll see you. I got to get to the next artist, and we got to, so I didn't even think about it. And then when they performed, it was like it sucked the air out of the room for like an hour. I mean, it was like we couldn't. It was great, but we also, like we went straight to commercial, and we came back, and it was still in the room.
Could you see Chris? Because Chris Stapleton at the time wasn't Chris Stapleton. Like that was really his launching point to the public in general.
Yeah.
Could you see like his songs being downloaded as it was happening because it was so instant?
Yeah, I could see. He was trending worldwide in 3 minutes. So on all the socials. So I was seeing all of that. And then people were texting me. And it's funny, for example, if you texted me during the show, most likely I would text you right back because I keep my phone with me. Because you never know, like if a phone call comes through and I don't know who it is, like if it doesn't show up, I'm answering. It could be an artist, I don't know what it is. So I always have my phone with me just in case someone goes, and which has happened on Billboard Music Awards where it's been like, hey, so-and-so is supposed to perform next and they're not here yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's happened.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Or we've been like 30 seconds from, not necessarily much on CMA Awards, but Billboards, it's happened several times where it's like, we're coming back in 30 seconds and that artist isn't in place. And so
they call your cell phone to tell you that? Like they can't get on your headset?
Well, and they do set that on the headset too.
Yeah.
But so I'm always watching. So on that particular performance, my phone started, people were texting me, especially in the audience, like with the record label, going, we're blowing up right now. This is blowing up. Like it's crazy what's happening with Chris Stapleton during the performance and after the performance.
Just change what we do, even like that performance did.
Right.
Just as country music people, change what we do.
Yeah.
And so was so happy to see it. Let's play it now. Let's play Tennessee Whiskey. Robert Deaton is in, producer of the CMA Awards, producer of the Billboard Music Awards, St. Jude board member. We'll talk to him more coming up in a second. Bobby Bone Show. Our fill-in host today is Robert Deaton, who, if I'm listing some of his resume here, produces the CMA Awards, produces CMA Fest, is about to head to Los Angeles to produce the Billboard Music Awards, is on the St. Jude board, and it says that you have created more than 500 music videos.
Something like that. That's how I got started. So my father was on-air talent in TV and radio when I grew up in Wilmington, North Carolina. So I was always around. I was always at a TV station, and so that was my world. All the other kids were out playing, and I was in the TV studio. And so the day after graduation, I moved to Nashville because I wanted to be in the music business somehow.
What are some of the biggest videos that you put together, created, directed that we would know?
Okay, Independence Day by Martina McBride.
Nice.
I'm in a Hurry and Don't Know Why.
Nice.
By Alabama.
Yes.
All Summer Long by Kid Rock.
What about Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy?
Yeah, I did that. Mm-hmm.
Now,
At the time, I need to give a shout out to George Flanagan. He was my business partner, and he and I we did all that work together. So yes, we did Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy, and we're in the news the next day.
Because why?
Because we destroyed part of the bridge.
There's a big pedestrian bridge in Nashville.
Yeah.
And I just wonder, what was, Big and Rich, Big Kenny, John Rich, what were they like when they were blowing up? Because that was at that point of their career.
Yes.
Were they, as the kids would say now, extra?
Yes, they were extra. It was crazy time all the time. It was absolutely, I can't tell stories, but I mean, some maybe I could, but it was a crazy time. And I was doing all the Music Mafia. You remember they had the whole Music Mafia.
Like Gretchen Wilson
and Cowboy Troy.
Yeah.
So we were doing all of those music videos. I remember one time their manager, we were doing a project, and I went to go meet with him and John Rich, and 48 hours later, I had not been to bed, and we had been to L.A. and back. And I'm calling my wife. I'm like, we're going to L.A. It's a spur of the moment thing. And we had rooms, but we never got to literally was up 48 hours straight. So
John Rich went as hard as the rumors say.
Yes, he went. Yes, exactly.
And when you produced the Billboard Music Awards coming up, I know Garth Brooks is going to be a big part of that. And I know that's probably because you're Nashville super country guy. Like, did you get to call Garth and tell him he was getting this big award?
I did. I got to call him. So.
And what, are you cool enough with Garth to just be like, hey, dude, what up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in fact, most of the time, it's really interesting. For a long time, I had not worked with Garth because he did the whole retirement thing. And I was like, I love our genre of music, and I'm a historian on all that. And I was like, God, that's the one thing that I hadn't done. I didn't get to work with Merle Haggard. I came really close to doing a music video for Merle Haggard, and he canceled the day before. So that was just always a bummer. But I wanted to work with Garth. And then over the past couple of years, we've done a lot of TV together and gotten to be really good friends. And he asked me to help him work on the Dive Bar music video, which I really don't do music videos anymore. But when Garth calls you and asks for a favor, you do it. And in fact, now, and management is cool with it. But they're like, hey, you know what? When you got something, just call him direct. He just soon talk to you direct. So, we'll text or call, and he'll call me back, and we just talk about stuff, and it's pretty cool. I mean, he is really, when he said, you can take his word to the bank. When he says he's going to do something, he is awesome, and he's a great person to work with.
Robert Deaton is here, producer, fill in for Lunchbox today. Did you put Brad and Carrie together for that big run on CMAs?
I did.
And what made you think that these two superstars would work well together?
Well, what happened was the year before Brad and Carrie, we did not have a host. And the network and the CMA at the time thought, well, we should do it again without a host. But the problem is, without a host, there's nobody. I like the through line of someone that you've seen that takes you kind of through the show. And there's also you want someone that's the focus, the brand, so that they can do promos and they can go to New York and they can be on Good Morning America. And whenever you saw Brad and Carrie together, you thought of the CMA Awards. And so at the time, I knew Brad. I mean, Brad's like Roger Miller. I mean, that's how I looked at him. He was our modern day Roger Miller. That clever, funny, great musician, incredible. He's an incredible human being. But I had also worked with Carrie. Everybody was like, at the time, everybody was like, oh, Brad's great, but we don't know about Carrie. I don't like I do, because I'd worked with her on some things at the CMA Music Festival with copy, and I knew she could do it. And so it took, at first, when I first came up with it, the idea, ABC was like, nah, you know what? Let's just stay where we are. No host. We don't see that. And I waited 3 months, knowing I was going to go back. And I just waited 3 months.
And how long was the run together?
11 years, and then carried it 12.
Which was last year.
Crazy.
And we'll talk about it in a little bit. Robert's son is actually, we won't say who it is now, but Robert's son's in a band that you'll know. We'll save that for a later segment. Robert Deaton, producer of CMAs and Billboards, is here. Let's play Kane Brown and Lauren Alaina, and we'll come back here on The Bobby Bone Show.
This is the Bobby Bones Show.
Transmitting across America.
Turn it up. Now this is the Bobby Bones Show. Let's go.
Our guest host today is Robert Deaton, who produces CMA Awards, CMA Fest, Billboard Music Awards. Now, you live in Nashville, but you're going to LA. You're just going to live there for basically 2 months?
I do.
To produce
Tomorrow.
Billboard Music
or
Awards.
No, Saturday. Yeah, for 2 months I'm in LA. And it
so what do
happens
you-
every year that way. So,
What do you do? What's happening?
So I just prep the show, get the show ready, and I do nothing but work.
But
So-
you call people and be like, hey, Pink, hey, Billie Eilish, it's me, Robert. Come do the show. Is that what you do?
You know what? It's funny. The first year that I did the show, I was completely a fish out of water, and I realized also I didn't understand the music as good as I needed to. Because if, for example, if I hear a country song and I know I got to do a performance on it, I can come up with an idea like really quick. And I realized that if I was going to be good at that job, that I had to get my ears as trained for pop as I did for country. So what happens is right after the CMA Awards I switch over and start listening to pop.
He'll be like, hey, listen to the show in a while, man. I got to listen to pop. I'm getting ready for a billboard. So people will tell him when things happen instead of him listen.
It's true. It's like, for example, last year I was like, God, you know what I love? I was telling my wife, Susan, I said, you know what I love? It's like, I love that Dua Lipa record. And she's like, who is Dua Lipa? So what's happened is now that I've done it 5 years, now I have relationships, like I do with the country artist. And you got to do just like with the country artist, you have to build trust, and now that I've done performances with them, performances with Ed Sheeran, my personal favorite is Celine Dion. I mean, she's just like crazy, incredible talent, and such a great person. So I got trust with her, So when we do the CMA Award, the Billboard Music Awards, the first thing that she'll say is, well, "What's your idea? What do you think we should do?" And
You say Titanic every time? They're like, what if we get a boat and we put you on? Oh, that's what I would say.
Well, did you see the song when we did the song for 2 years ago? We did the song from
Titanic?
And I built this big, huge chandelier.
Do it again this year.
Yeah,
Every year.
It'll rate every year. Just do that song. It's like it will rate. So
Robert
he's
has
amazing.
worked with a ton of country artists from award shows, music videos. Robert, we're going to do a thing here. I'm going to give you the name of a country artist. You give me the first word that comes to your mind, okay?
Oh, goodness.
Because you've
Okay.
worked with them all.
All right.
Garth Brooks,
Genius.
Carrie Underwood,
Amazing. Because she can do it all.
Eric Church.
Friend.
You and Eric close?
Yes, we're close. In fact, I never think about our people were like, how's it working with someone that you're so close to? And it's like, you know what? He's an outlaw. He doesn't even care if he's on my shows or not. I mean, it's like, I don't think of him in the sense, whenever I think about Eric, I don't think about him in the sense of being an artist. I think about him first as a friend.
Do you and Eric bond over being from North Carolina?
We do. And I've spent a lot of time with his parents, and they are incredible, just amazing people. And I enjoy my time with them and the family. And Eric and I normally go to a couple of Tar Heel games a year. And the last 2 times they've been in the national championship game, we've been, and I bring my sons, and we're with their parents, with Eric's parents, and he is just an incredible. He is an incredible artist. And I have to remind myself when I'm with him that he is an artist. You forget because we're talking about home in North Carolina and kids and Tar Heel basketball, and so I have to remind myself, wait, I'm with the Chief, but I don't see the Chief that often. I always see Eric.
That's how you feel with me, right? You have
Correct.
to remind yourself that I'm also.
Yes, and I forget this guy's on TV all the time.
Right.
Dolly Parton.
The best.
What makes Dolly awesome?
She's the best. She is one. They're not even talking about pop culture, but let's just talk about talent as far as a songwriter and a performer. She is the best. I mean, I feel like that. A lot of people, look at Merle Haggard that way, and George Jones, and she is that. She is, Vince Gill and I were talking, and we were having breakfast a year or two ago, and we were just talking about artists, and Dolly came up, and, for Vince, it's Dolly. Dolly's here, and everybody else is below that because she is on such a pedestal.
Luke
and by the way, she's incredibly smart.
Yeah, she's super sharp.
Super quick. Like I had, she was my host this year with Reba and Carrie, and she is just like, she's a comedy writer too. I mean, the stuff that she was coming up with so quick and so much faster than any of us in the room could come up with. It's so great to be able to know someone can do that heavy lifting.
Let me ask you one other question.
Okay.
Luke Combs, does he have a shot at Entertainer of the Year?
I think he does, yes. The thing about Luke is a North Carolina boy, okay? So we got that going on too. And the thing about with Luke is, the thing that I figured out with Luke, and I love him dearly, and his manager, Cappy, is one of my favorite human beings on the planet. But when Luke started first coming out, I found myself in the car turning up his music whenever his songs were on the radio. And I did it I was not conscious about it. It was just like I heard something that I liked. After a while, I realized, oh my goodness, every single time I'm turning up the radio, it's Luke Combs. I think he does. His songs are incredible. He's a great singer. And the thing about it that I saw the first time, I went and saw him at the Ryman Auditorium. I was invited down to see him. Had really not spending time with him. This was 2 years ago. And what shocked me was what a superstar he is. Like a performer, how he just takes up the entire stage. It's like, sometimes you can't teach that. Like, for example, Kenny Chesney, incredible. He can do a stadium and reach the last person, the very last person in the very back row. He can reach that. And that's something that a lot of people can't do or you can't teach. Luke has that. He has that aura on stage where it's he can walk around with a solo cup and just own it. It's crazy. So he's got it all. And so, yes, I think he absolutely one day will win Entertainer of the Year.
We're going to end with this. We've been here an hour. You've done a great job, by the way. He's done a great job. Robert's son is the drummer in King Calloway.
Yes.
And what do you tell your son whenever it's like, all right, you're going to go be in music? I've been working with a lot of musicians and artists. What advice do you give him?
11 years old. Sorry, I don't want to get... Yeah, this is emotional a little bit, but he was riding next to me, 11 years old. We're driving. I'm driving. And he's like, Dad, do you think one day I can be a professional drummer? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And let's not have a backup. Let's do it. If you're going to do it, let's do it. I've always been like, if this is what you want to do, follow your dream. I followed my dream. I was like I said, I packed my bags the day after high school graduation, and I was in the car, and I drove to Nashville. And so from that time on, he never wavered. This is what he always wanted to do. And he was an incredible drummer. I mean, Charles Kelly jammed with him when Chris was 11 years old, Christmas Day, because he got a brand new drum set, and Charles came over to the house and jammed with him for an hour and was like, that kid is incredible. And so I've always just been that this is what you do, this is what you want, and this is your dream, then go for it, and let's not worry about a backup.
He can also sing, which is weird for a drummer.
It is.
Like he can stand up and just sing his brains out.
Yeah, what we found, that's been something that's been incredibly awesome to see him grow just in the last 2 years, because I didn't really know that going in. The band, King Calloway, didn't know that either. Then what happened was he started singing all the high harmony, all that, like when they did Seven Bridges Road with Ricky Skaggs on the Opry, and they do all those Eagles covers. Well, he's singing that high harmony part. And honestly, I didn't know he really had that kind of a talent from a singing standpoint until the last year. So he's really grown a lot. And they all have, all the guys in King Calloway have really grown a lot this year.
I'm about to play No Matter What in just a second. I want to bring your gift, though. Let's bring in producer extraordinaire, music video extraordinaire. We have you a parting gift, Robert Deaton, for being a guest host on our show today. Scuba Steve, explain to him what this is.
This is a Barbie fully equipped with a guitar and all the accessories to get ready for the Billboard Music Awards.
That's right. There it is, Robert. Take that with you to Los Angeles. We've all signed it. She can play if Ariana doesn't show up, throw her on stage.
I love this. This is great. This is awesome.
We're going to play No Matter What from King Calloway. This is their newest single?
Yes, brand new.
Do you like it?
I love it. It's a hit record. Keep playing it.
Okay. Are you sure? Are you sure you like it?
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
It's like the best thing on the radio.
All right, Robert. Hey, what is your Instagram?
My Instagram.
Yeah, do you want to share it or no?
Yeah.
What is
it?
I mean, I follow you, but I don't know the name.
Yeah, what is it?
It's, like
it's just at Robert Deaton.
It is Robert Deaton?
Yeah, Robert Deaton, yes.
At Robert Deaton.
Yes.
Follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram.
King Calloway. Robert's son is the drummer. Here is No Matter What. There he is. Robert Deaton. Great job today. There he is. All fine from the tornado. It hit a part of Nashville near where Amy lives, but not your house.
No, not my house. So, but houses near me and businesses a couple blocks away. So it's really crazy how that works.
And the last we checked, there have been 2 deaths because of the tornado here in town. The weird thing is when it hits a city.
That's right. That's the rare part.
That's the rare part. I was asleep last night when it happened. The whole thing, like I woke up and it had already all happened. The sirens didn't even go off in my neighborhood because I'm a little bit away from where it happened.
Right.
Like 20 minutes or so. So, but I'm in the same county, which is surprising.
I know. Yeah, especially that you wouldn't hear them because there was no way I wasn't going to hear that. And I'm just like, I can't reiterate enough that I'm so thankful my husband was home because he travels a lot and our kids were asleep upstairs. And I am totally the person that would be like, okay, these sirens, is this a drill? Like,
yeah,
what's
something
the deal?
broken. Yeah.
Like, is this for real? And like, let's just power through. But no, he gathered us and put us in the bathroom, and I'm so glad he did because that's just good. However, my son recently learned about tornadoes in school, And for about 3 weeks now, he's been kind of scared of them for no reason, but just because he learned about them. And for 3 weeks, I've been kind of blowing it off like, hey, buddy, you have nothing to worry about, nothing. So then, of course, last night happens. And we're in the bathroom and he's asking tons of questions. And we're kind of fine because we feel safe. And then when it's time to go back to bed, he won't. He wouldn't go upstairs. And he started crying and had to sleep in our room. And so I'm kind of hope today we're going to have to probably work through some stuff with him because he's going to walk around the neighborhood and see his favorite restaurant that got hit and be scared. And I don't want that for him.
Did you let him stay with you last night?
Yeah, he stayed in our room. Yeah. And I mean, I don't even know that we got sleep. I kind of warned you that when I got in. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be cranky today. I got no sleep.
Well, I wouldn't have even known there was a tornado until Amy texted me and goes, hey, are you taking shelter? Huh? And then she was like, hey, are you good? And again, I thought maybe that she knew something about my relationship. I was like, what do you mean am I good? Did I get dumped? Didn't know if there was a tornado that had happened, a bit away. So we'll find out more about it. But getting a lot of texts from you guys. We're all fine.
Yes.
I don't live in that part of town. Amy does, and she's fine. I guess she's the only one that lives over there. Lunchbox does. He's fine.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's fine.
He was in he has a basement. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, now I need a basement. Which some people in our
Dig you
neighborhood
one out.
have.
Go home today. Dig you one out.
I know.
All right,
Maybe.
we'll come back in 1 second.
The morning show's official YouTube
A lot of the questions coming in for us now, and even calls are about the tornado. So just a heads up to you guys that are listening. We live in Nashville. You know, if you're new to this show, we live where country music is. We have access to all the artists, and sometimes things happen in Nashville that really have nothing to do with country music, which is our home. And last night, a tornado came through, I guess around midnight or so.
Yeah. My part of town, where it touched down a little bit, 12:50 a.m. is what I remember.
Were you awake at all?
I woke up to my phone beeping and sirens going off in the city.
My phone didn't even beep.
No, mine didn't either.
Well, I don't know if it's because I literally was, I don't know how they do that, but maybe if your phone is in a certain part of town where they say it's going to be. But both my husband's phone, my phone went off, and then sirens in the city just started blaring, which I assumed the whole city of Nashville and anywhere nearby would hear those sirens, but I guess not. And then, yeah, we went upstairs, grabbed the kids, and went downstairs and locked ourselves in the bathroom with the dog. It's a little teeny tiny bathroom, and I got blankets, and we answered about 1 million questions from Stevenson.
Who's 9?
He's 9.
He's never been through a tornado.
And very inquisitive.
Yeah.
I hadn't either, really. I hadn't either, and so I was just trying to stay calm. I pulled up TikTok for my kids and was like, watch these videos. Calm down. And then I just pulled up Instagram. My husband was over there watching the weather on his phone and trying to keep everything calm.
Caitlin texted me and was asking, did you hear a siren last night? Because neither one of us did. No, we didn't hear anything. And the TV eventually goes off, too. So nothing happened at my house. I know I'm 20 minutes away from where it happened. The story is 2 people have been killed in East Nashville. At least 20 hurt after a tornado rips through downtown. A tornado touched down north of downtown Nashville, causing severe damage to several areas of town. Mayor John Cooper spoke from the farmers market where a shelter's been set up for displaced residents. He said officials won't be able to fully assess until all is in daylight, which we're getting into the morning now. He urged residents to be cautious, emphasizing there are numerous power lines down. And they say if you see power lines down, just assume they're alive.
Yeah. Well, that's why I couldn't. Bobby, you have a Title boxing gym close in our neighborhood, and I wanted to go check on it before I came into work, and because I was just curious, and literally couldn't get over there because of the power lines. And I was talking to my husband, and he's like, "Turn around, don't get anywhere near that. Like, it could electrocute you."
Yeah.
And so I did. The whole neighborhood, our neighborhood has lines down everywhere.
And not that it matters, but my Title boxing gym in East Nashville is fine. But that's what a tornado does. It goes in, hits, and then is up. The big ones that we see, like in Oklahoma, when a lot of people died, that's when they go down and sit and just go. And so we have on the phone now Justin McFarland, who is in Nashville, works for Fox 17 locally. Hey, Justin, how are you, man?
Hey, good morning, Bobby. How are you, sir?
Hey, so tell me, what happened last night and kind of that chain of events.
Well, what we know at this point is this is going to end up being a historic storm in the city of Nashville's history, without question. And, I've been here a long time, since I was 11 years old. And this one is going to go right down with the 98 tornado, for those who were here for that. But unfortunately, we've lost at least 2 people here in Metro. We just got that confirmed from the mayor's office. 2 people have died here in Nashville. A total of 9 people have died across several counties last night: Benton County, Putnam County, Wilson County, and here in Metro. So the death toll right now, unfortunately, at 9 people. Here in Nashville, we've got 47,000 people that are without power right now. Metro schools have closed for the day, along with all the city and state offices have all closed for the day as well. We've got debris everywhere. Some of the hardest hit communities include the Metro Center community, Germantown, East Nashville, Mount Juliet. All of them hit incredibly hard by this storm. And so it's going to take days to pick up the pieces, if not weeks or months, to get Nashville restored. And shelters are also open. Right now, Metro Nashville does have a shelter open for anyone who needs it over at the Centennial Sportsplex, which is not too far away from Centennial Park there in the west side of town off of West End. So that is the long and short of what's happening. And, Bobby, I could talk for a while about all the different things that are going on around the city right now to try to help it recover. And once again, not just Nashville. I want to emphasize there are other communities that are suffering as well in Wilson County and Putnam County and in Benton County as a result of these storms that came through last night.
Well, Justin, appreciate the call, appreciate the knowledge, and good luck with the rest of your day, bud.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
All right, there he is. And again, I also know we're a national show, and a lot of you guys weren't affected by this, but this happened in our home, and we often talk about what happens in our home, and it's a unfortunate, tragic night for a lot of folks. And so, yeah, that's it. So I'm throwing on people that are letting us know. And again, I will let you know as soon as I know how we can actually help people that were affected by this, like we always do. So thank you guys for listening. We'll do Jake Owen Homemade here, Bobby Bone Show. Appreciate that. The song is from Jordan Davis called Slow Dance in a Parking Lot, Bobby Bones Show. Glad to hear you're all safe from the tornado. The most likely reason you or Eddie didn't get a warning on your phone is because you guys weren't living in the warning area, even though you're in the same county. NWS warns based on storm's location, path, not by whole county.
Interesting.
Phone makes sense. We didn't hear the alarms, though, either, which was weird.
Sirens, right.
Sirens, yeah.
You would think that would be a citywide thing, but no, I didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
And we all live in different places, too. Like, Eddie and I are far apart. I will say Eddie drove up, though, yesterday and played basketball with us. We were playing basketball at the Y yesterday afternoon. Me, my friend Ahmad, who lives in Austin, my girlfriend Caitlin, and Eddie played 2-on-2. And you can go first.
It was fun. First off, I had a blast. Like, I don't work out really. You know, I walk the dog, I run sometimes, lift a little weights. But man, that basketball is a good workout. And here's the thing. You guys play hard. Like, Bones, you play hard. Your girlfriend plays hard. And Ahmad, our friend, obviously plays hard. But man, like, I felt like I was ready to give up. We played 3 games, Amy, and I was ready to give up after 1.
Oh, wow.
And I was on Caitlin. I was covering. It was 2-on-2, me and Bobby versus Ahmad and Caitlin. I was on Caitlin, Bobby's girlfriend. She wore me out, man. At some point, I was like, she had the ball. I was like, just shoot it, please.
That's what she said. That you were like, hey, just shoot. And not talking crap like, you can't shoot. Like, please shoot so I don't have to go guard. So I don't have to run in.
Yeah, just shoot. So we're done.
And then I'm telling the other team, just make the basket so the game will be done, please.
We played twice 2-on-2, then we played 3-on-3. With it, another couple guys jumped in. But it got pretty competitive.
That was fun, though, man. I had a blast.
And she's good.
She's really good.
And she's really competitive.
Amy, no offense to you, because I know you can drain buckets too, but she was draining threes.
Yeah, I've seen on Instagram.
And she can be a little mean.
Competitive.
Yeah.
I think that's what you like to call it.
Yeah. Well, I'm very competitive.
So competitive.
Like,
oh my
Ahmad
gosh.
is twice my size, and we're about to fight each other.
Oh my gosh, I would not do that. If I
Amy,
were
they were
you.
arguing.
Bobby, I'd be like,
But when it's game time and it's competition time, there's no size.
okay.
It's me versus the world.
You don't see size.
And I'd be like, Eddie, come on. Eddie's like, I'm tired, man. But we played for like 2 hours yesterday.
Yeah, it's a
and
good
I got a
workout.
lot of listeners texting me going, I thought Amy was going to keep you from playing basketball. Remember when I said, Amy, please don't let me start playing basketball
Right.
because I'm going to get hurt.
Yeah, but I can tell you got the bug. You're getting the itch. Like you've been hitting
I
the
just
courts.
love
like,
to compete.
every
It doesn't
time
matter
Caitlin's
what
in
it is.
town. Yeah.
Love to compete. Are you sore?
I can't even move, dude. Yes. My feet are sore because
That's awesome,
all
though.
the
You're gonna-
cutting back and forth. My
You're gonna
body's
keep it up?
sore. Probably not.
Okay.
I'll take the boys to the gym and shoot a little bit, but this whole like 2-on-2, 3-on-3, that business that's tough. What about you, though, Bones? Are you going to go back to the Y and play some pickup ball?
Sure. No, not with a bunch of dudes. Caitlin and I play one-on-one. I think it's pretty competitive. I go to the gym, do all my stuff. I'm fine. I could have played 10 more games yesterday. I'm in good cardiovascular shape.
Yeah. No, you guys weren't even sweating. I was like,
But are you
dripping
worried
sweat.
about like rolling your ankle
Yes.
or hurting your knee?
Yes, and I have some big stuff coming up that I'm super
Yeah.
excited about. Like,
So let's just pump the brakes on the B-ball.
oh no, you can't say it now.
Bones, didn't somebody come up to us afterwards and say like they were watching us play and they're like, you guys were the most intense
Yeah, y'all
game we've seen in here in a long time.
Y'all posted a picture and y'all are all so sweaty. I was like, what?
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, it was fun yesterday. We played basketball at the Y. It was good. It's just good to have a mod here. Caitlin's been here for like 6 days. She's gonna go to the Grand Ole Opry tonight, which
Yeah, I love that she's going to get to go.
Eddie and I are playing.
Cannot wait.
Yeah, mod's
Oh,
gonna come
so
too.
you're hosting and playing?
So we're doing the TV show, and then Eddie and I are gonna go play.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm basically Jennifer Lopez of the Opry.
Wow, you are. Dang.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys. Listen, I know that it's hard for us to balance a show where we are hopefully your friends wherever you live, from Bakersfield to Austin to Boston. We are just happy to be your friend. And last night in our home, there was a tornado that hit. So we spent a good part of the show talking about that. And just talking openly and honestly, it's always, where is that line? Where does it fall whenever you're talking about things that happen near you versus something that if somebody in Iowa's listening, they don't care. They're not listening. They don't care to hear that. So for us, we don't walk it right most of the time, but we try to find a way. And sometimes we just don't worry about ratings. It's like there are things bigger than ratings. And so we're going to do that. So I appreciate how nice everybody has been about this. And as soon as I woke up this morning at 4:30, listeners were tweeting me going, hey, you okay? And I'm like, from what? Like, what do you know? Before I started to actually see the news.
That's awesome they cared about you and cared about us, how we were doing.
And then a lot of texts from folks and friends.
Oh, I know. People from all over the country that I haven't even heard from in a while, I'm getting texts from.
Yeah.
So nice.
So we appreciate you guys. That's all. I just want to say that. Tomorrow's co-host, by the way, Trooper Johnson, who was a state trooper for a long time and is now at the governor's executive protection detail.
Dang.
So retired state
Yes.
trooper.
Interesting.
Now
Okay.
protects the governor. He's going to come in. We love police officers on this show. We respect first, love second. Because sometimes I get a ticket. I'll be honest, I don't love it right then, but I still respect you. So we respect you. We love you. We appreciate you. And, we were like, how do we get a cop on this show? Because we want to come in and hear stories and also share how grateful we are. Because out today, I'll tell you, there's a tornado here. The cops are going to be out there maintaining, working to fix, risking what they're every day.
Yeah.
So that'll be tomorrow. So, all right, there we go. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you, guys.
Missed any